Hunt 'em Big with Steve Bartylla. Brought to you by Wildlife Research Center, the gold standard. RECONYX, see what you've been missing. Get armed and deadly with Easton's FMJ arrows. By Hunter Safety Systems, saving lives is what we do. SEVR broadheads, straight through it. By Primal Tree Stands, stand safely, hunt smart. By Chestnut Hill Outdoors, and by Shop Outright Hunting Products, home of the Morph Pro Bowhanger.
Generally speaking, we're great at zeroing in our weapons and practicing for 3D tournaments, maybe practicing for long distance firearm shooting, that type of stuff. That's great. That seriously is. Where it falls apart for so many of us is we don't practice to make that shot. I'm not a great shot. I know great bow shots. I'm not one. I'm also, and when it comes to firearms hunting, I am a horrible shot. I grew up shooting bows, not guns. Somehow, I'm not trying to brag here, but somehow I kill a very respectable amount of the animals I'm shooting at. It's not because I'm anything special. It's honestly simply because I practice to make that shot when it counts. I go ahead and I get zeroed in with a bow. I practice in the backyard to get those muscles in shape, get that muscle memory, all that type of stuff. I should practice year-round, but I don't. I practice for about 6 months out of the year. The first month, I spend just shooting. After that, I do very little traditional practice. I practice like I hunt. By doing that, what I do, I get my mental game right, is one of the biggest parts. A lot of the reason people tend to freak out when Mr. Big's coming is because this is something they're not used to. No, none of us are used to Mr. Big coming in. Unless we're a high fence operator or something like that. It doesn't happen every day. But we can make it so that the rest of those acts involving the shot do happen dang near every day. How does that happen? Well, if you're hunting out of tree stands and ground blinds, practice out of tree stands and ground blinds. Remember, from elevated positions, your hips are the key. You can contort your body in any way imaginable as long as this line right here stays parallel to an imaginary line going across your chest. And all your twisting, turning, and bending occurs at the hips. How does that become second nature? It becomes second nature by practicing it. You want to know what's going to happen if you shoot in high winds? Practice in high winds. You want to know what's going to happen if you're shooting in a light rain? Practice in a light rain. Also practice at least twice as far out as you're ever willing to shoot. Why? When you're practicing out at 100 a bunch, that 40-yard shot seems easy. Go ahead and practice in the conditions that you're going to hunt. And at the same time, you want to know if you have some equipment issues, you're going to know the further out you shoot. They're going to stick out more and more and more. The more we can make this, just like the hunting that we're going to do, the more we can test out what's going to happen shooting under this condition, that condition, and so on, the more it just becomes second nature. And I'll tell you what, when Mr. Big is coming in, or frankly a doe, if I need to be sitting there thinking, bend at the waist, make sure not to drop your bow arm after the shot, all that type of stuff, if I'm sitting there thinking that stuff, my odds of blowing the shot are that much higher. It's got to be, boom, instinctual. How do you make it instinctual? You do it over and over and over and over again until it is.
Hunt 'em Big with Steve Bartylla. Brought to you by Wildlife Research Center, the gold standard. RECONYX, see what you've been missing. Get armed and deadly with Easton's FMJ arrows. By Hunter Safety Systems, saving lives is what we do. SEVR broadheads, straight through it. By Primal Tree Stands, stand safely, hunt smart. By Chestnut Hill Outdoors, and by Shop Outright Hunting Products, home of the Morph Pro Bowhanger.
We generally are great at practicing for hitting that target. Where we really could do a lot better is practicing for the moment of truth. Cater your practice techniques for how you hunt. Practice in low light, high winds, rain, all that type of stuff, because that educates us as to what's going to happen when we shoot in those conditions when it really matters. Approach it that way, and all of a sudden when the moment of truth occurs, it's just muscle memory. And the more it's muscle memory, the better off we are, because boom, we make that shot without overthinking it and falling apart anywhere near as badly as, well, speaking for myself, anywhere near as badly as I would if I hadn't practiced that over and over and over.